Hi guys. So, I've had a Q&A video I've been wanting to do for a few weeks, and I have all the questions, but I just don't have the space and quietness for it. So right now, you're just watching me in my car talk to a camera at the parking lot of my job, and I thought I would just do a video of how just kind of awkward it is talking to yourself. Like when you first start out, if you're not really used to it. And I got a tip from a friend of mine, and I'll edit this later with like in the description, and I'll put his link in for his Twitch and his YouTube because he's awesome. I love him to death. But it's so awkward because, for me anyway, like when I was younger, I never had anybody actually like listen to me. I know there's somebody that parked right next to me is gonna think I'm weird. But like I never had anyone like actually listen to like what I had to say or whatever. I was always just like that weird wallflower person. So whenever I would start a story, if I was like talked over, or if I was like just didn't feel like I was being listened to, I would just trail off and just stop the story mid-sentence. Like I see a lot of people saying that they do online or something. I'm like, am I the only one? No, you're obviously not the only one. But it's so awkward for me. And the advice from my friend was like, just talk to yourself. If you're driving alone, just like talk to yourself. And I'm just like, I don't even know how to go about doing that, because my mind goes from, like, I could be looking at, you know, there's a Honda in front of me right now, and I could think of either the CRV that I had with my husband prior to this car, or the van that I guess was a Honda that my dad had, and that would make me remember that there was this one time where we were driving somewhere, and I remember my dad was playing the music really, really, really loud. I think my uncle was in the passenger seat or something, but I was sitting next to his girlfriend at the time, her kid, excuse me, and like he and I were trying to have a conversation, but it was just so loud and we couldn't talk. And then my dad turns it down and he's like, hey, we can't hear the music over you guys. And I'm like, all I can remember is just thinking like, well, no shit, like we can't hear ourselves over the music. And so he goes and says like, do you want me to put it up front? And we're just like, yeah. So he puts it up front. He's just like rocking out, like finger in the air, like rocking out, and like, but then that'll make me think of like his other girlfriend, Gillian, who was just like freaking amazing. But then thinking of Gillian will make me think of the horse camp I used to go to, because her church funded it for me, and I am just like, I've always been over the world like grateful for that. Like that was the best experience I could have ever asked for from strangers. And then that would make me think of Willie, my first horse that I rode that was white, and then my second horse, Peaches, that was white. Willie was amazing. He was such a good horse. Like he was so patient and sweet, and he listened, and I don't know how old he was, but he was just the best thing ever. And then that would make me think of Peaches, who one time we were on trail riding, and all the horses like freaked out, and they would go like haywire. Like all of them just like kind of ran. I guess some of them got stuck in the road, and that was bad. But Peaches, like, I got her to stay in one spot, sort of. Like we just kept turning in circles because she wanted to go, and I'm like, no. And my partner, her horse, was just sitting back, and the I guess camp counselors you would call them, our leaders, they were trying to call out for me, and I'm sitting there like holding on to the reins, and I'm just like, no, we are not going. You're gonna go over here. And I'm trying to turn her over here to get her back on track, and I go to like raise my hand, but I'm holding the reins so tight, and I just like shoot my hand in the air, and I'm like, I'm right here, trying to get her to stay stabilized. And just like, that's kind of where my train of thought ends, because I don't really tie anything else to that other than maybe, well, here's one, another tangent. We would go up to a family member's house, and her neighbor had horses, and like, wherever we go, if there's a horse, I'm right there. I miss horseback riding so much. But then, like, going up to the family house, we've been up there a few times for like a couple different things, and I remember taking my ex up there once, and that takes me to a whole other story about him. I'll let you guys know that one if you want, but that's a whole fucking story. It makes me think of my other exes, which is a whole other story, and just kind of back, I guess, around to the fact that, like, no one ever really listened when I would talk. Like, it doesn't even matter, like, what it was about. And here's one again. At a company dinner that I was invited to when I was still pregnant, I was talking about the different jobs that I had, but I didn't really feel like anyone was listening, so I just kind of stopped talking. And my head manager, she looked over and she was just like, so keep going, but she wasn't looking at me, so I didn't know that she was like actually paying attention. And I look at her, I'm like, what? And she's like, you were talking about the different jobs that you had. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I kept going, and it's just, it's so awkward. Like, this is the most unawkward video that I've probably had, where I can continuously talking. Like, this is just how my mind goes. Like, it just goes from one thing to another, and then it can go on a totally different tangent from like what I'm looking at. So like, there's like flags, obviously there's flags everywhere. In my building, the freaking like parking lot is full of cars, and I have a billion things to do today. I had to do some paperwork, gotta go grocery shopping, gotta go see a really good family friend, and I also have to call my grandparents. I get in touch with my mom, find out how she is doing, and that brings me to lists. See, this is where my mind goes. It's lists. There's a list that I have for everything, and then I want to explain lists. So like, I don't know how to stay on subject either. I feel like I gotta have like bullet points, but then if I have bullet points, I'm not gonna be like, I guess, real with you guys, and I want to try and do that as much as possible. But there's so many like different things I could talk about, but it never stays on track. But it does for me. But then I'll just go back to what I was talking about before and say something that I maybe forgot, or I don't know. But that's just kind of how my mind works. So I am going to do the Q&A video. I just don't want to have, I gotta wait for my daughter to fall asleep or something, because right now we share a room with her, so I don't want to have like baby noises in the back, and she's very loud. Like, she's 2, so if anyone has a 2-year-old, you know what I mean. I can't try and record or do a video with her in the same room. It's just not gonna happen. But we are making some way, and we should have our own place soon, and I'm so freaking excited. I'll do a video about that too. And I'll actually have editing to videos here soon. Yeah, I guess that's all I have today. That's all I have for this one. I'll upload this. If you see it as soon as it uploads, it's not really gonna have a description or anything. I'll edit that when I get home, which should be soon, because I'm gonna try and get off work early so I can go do stuff today, because I have to do stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. But that's also why I haven't uploaded so much. It's just because I don't want baby noises in the background all the time. And it's just so awkward talking to a camera with like other people in the room. Because I'm like, I'm just an awkward person, okay, you guys? Because it's just like, if you couldn't tell by my terrible, absolutely terrible intro video that I'm just going to leave up and it's just going to be the one that we never talk about, okay? This is the worst. But I assume everybody started that way, right? If not, let me know. But yeah, I'm just gonna, I'll see you guys soon, I guess. I'll do the Q&A video, don't know when, and still have to figure that out. I'll probably do it in the basement. Yeah, I'll just do it in the basement. Why is that such an issue? Yeah, okay. Anyway, bye guys. Talk to you later. Bye.